But I get what you mean, that point where it's like you either have to find that extra fire within yourself in order to ascend to greater heights.
Yeah. And that's like, I'm a big believer that if you just keep on, like, if you just keep practicing, like, and you're just dedicated to it, then you'll find that fire. If you keep your dedication up. Really nice follow-up on that up air.
Sometimes you just gotta melt some ice. So let's get it. So I'm not actually sure what hit it was that sort of like nicked him, but aside from that, it was a pretty solid 0 to death there from Steven.
It was like it wasn't exactly a traditional 0 to death, but it was definitely more of a like I read your every move kind of a thing.
You're going here, 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 and you're dead. And ooh, great use of the Dolphin Slash there to just beat out any of the options Steven could have thrown out right then.
That
hitting him with that EU stuff. Let's go.
And throwing those lasers like you're supposed to with Marth. That's kind of like the general thing with Marth. If you're a Fox going up against Marth, you bombard him with lasers, make him feel like he's not in control, which, by the way, he's actually in control.
He's still in control.
He's in control a lot of the time. You just need to make that Marth believe that they're not in control.
When they're out like focusing so hard on their spacing game and you make them run in, it's easy for them to slouch when they're just in that like danger zone, you know? And make them make a mistake that you're right there to grab, nair, whatever you got to do. Ooh, and then this happens. This is that Iceman stuff you were just talking about. But he was just a little bit too high when he activated the side B. Iceman committed to the forward smash when he saw him like begin the animation, but he was just too high.
That was such a beautiful empty hop under that platform to make Steven completely second guess what he needed to do at that moment. And of course, it's a Marth, so once you do that short hop, you still have a lot of options with a lot of range open to you, and you can cover pretty much anything he chooses at that point. The key is you made him hesitate.
Exactly. Empty pressure is super underrated, how you can just shut off every option. Well, not every, but, you know.
And I love that using the nair as a kill move, using the sweet spot of the nair. Like a lot of Foxes, they're going to go for that back air. They're going to be like, okay, you need to sweet spot the back air because the back air hits harder overall. But the nair can be so useful for getting those stocks off.
Ooh. He grabs. How long is he going to keep it going? I think he expected him to drop onto the platform there, or what didn't go as left as he expected. But either way, Iceman just knocked right off immediately after dropping that like grab combo on the left side.
Yeah, he came up with a nair. And the thing is, nair is not safe. it's not safe, but Mars have gotten so good at placing it in the right spot that it's become a force to be reckoned with again. Yeah. Back in the old meta, nair was amazing with Marth. People figured out how to get around it, that it wasn't safe. And Marth stopped using it. But now they're like, hold on, we can just place it in the right spot. And over the last, I want to say, year or so, they've been using nair a whole lot more. All right, so he's forced to up B right there. And again, with that nair, he's not going to be coming back from that as long as Steven gets this edge guard.
I see how you mean about that nair, because it's able to allow him to sort of like control his spacing a little bit more after he throws it out, where he's able to say if he misses, he can just immediately fast fall down through with it. And the same way that you might be able to with steel back air, but it does send it that little bit of different trajectory. Ooh my gosh. Marth stuff.
Oh yeah, Marth stuff.
I like the option to just sit there by FatGoku there.
Yeah, well the thing is, no matter who your opponent is, no matter what character they are, their options on ledge are so much more limited. So when you're on stage, you by default have the advantage, and you can wait for them to make a commitment while you're in a defensive position, a position to strike back.
Because all the time people just forget that they can not move. And, ooh.
God, Steven is just really making these reads on him right now. Like when.
And the bit that Iceman does get ends up becoming kills, but he's just not getting those opportunities very often. Like the previous stock that FatGoku lost as well was in a very similar circumstance, and this might be as well. Ooh, never mind. He does actually drop it there.
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit of a weird decision from Iceman, setting that up the way he did. And that's going to do it. Yeah. That's 2-0. Everything in top 24 is best of 5.
I'm trying to think there, like, he had him right where he wanted him, but then it just sort of fell apart. And when Steven got back, like,
yeah, I think he was definitely he wasn't happy with his chain grabs. And hope this time he's cleaning,
that looks
it up.
definitely far more favorable as far as chain grabs are concerned. Beginning game 3 with a pretty substantial lead, but FatGoku looking to delete that as soon as he can.
I like the decision to up air right there from Steven, coming up with the up air from the ledge. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't drift as far right to land on stage as he expected. I think he kind of hesitated, got the little fear in him because of the pressure Iceman could have put out, but. Oh wow! Caught out again. Did you see the little?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw the look on his face.
He was like, oh, "Wow, I guess I'm going to win this game. That's kind of weird."
I'm force-talking Steven.
Yeah.
That's the I'm force-talking Steven face. And that was straight up. That was the traditional. Oh God, Marth just threw me. I need a spot dodge.
Pretty quickly, just moving on to the next one. Still comfortable with his lead, but can't afford to drop much more than that. Getting the counter pick advantage, Pokemon. Hopefully going to be having less of that chain grabbing going on.
Yeah, you're gonna have like a little bit less of it, but if he gets you in the center of the stage, then he can have just as devastating as an effect as he would on Final Destination.
God. Ooh, isn't able to get as much of a punish off. I think he might have missed like the L cancel there or something, because after that drill he should have been able to keep it going. Nice shift there in momentum.
Oh man, only 53%.
Yeah.
Steven looking really clean right now, mostly on his reads. His reads are looking really great.
He knows what's going through Iceman's head. And that's what's really like allowing him to take this stuff. But Iceman's getting through it. And like I mentioned, he got that one hit, death. He just needs to be able to get those hits. And before, he was at like 53%. It just these tiny little trades. That's not the opening that he wants. The opening that he craves and needs. Hard committed to an upward angle read and tried to counter it, but oh God. Yeah. Steven remembering he does in fact have lasers.
And I feel like Iceman is just isolating himself on one side of the stage a lot here. And that's definitely becoming a problem because FatGoku knows exactly when to run in on him right now. It's looking like there's a couple of lasers, and then boom, he comes in just like that. And he closes the distance. And it's like, all right, Marth has range, but you've already committed to something by the time I'm over here to make me try and come over there and commit. That's kind of the thing with Marth. If Fox is shooting lasers at you, then you kind of go mid-range and you try to make them to commit to something so you can punish it with a grab.
Because now they think, aha, he's come at me.
Exactly.
I can stop this long-range option.
Yeah, but then you
just barely misses and falls right in the grab range, but somehow comes back right after being tossed off stage.
Oh. Went on stage, man. On the stage.
FatGoku is pretty good at this game, man.
Hey, he's no slouch.
Yeah, that was a pretty just